Hey guys, this is Mahimer from the French Club meetings. I was the one who created this PowerPoint about 3 or 4 weeks ago that went into detail about what we were going to do in terms of May and our fundraiser for our field trip that we're going to be having in May. And so when it comes down to it, we've had quite a few ideas, and we've either taken way too much time and they are out of effect, or they are against school policy and we can't use them. So we need to get on this faster because time is ticking, and we only have about I don't know 4 weeks until May 3rd, which probably even less actually. And so tomorrow, I'm making this tonight. It is, I think, April the 9th. Tomorrow, we're going to be uh, actually voting on which one we'd like to see executed, on which one we are going to be pulling out throughout the rest of May. So, the first point I need to make is that I think we're still selling our t shirts, and one of the t shirts contribute a huge portion of our funds. Each t shirt you buy gives us $12, like straight up, 100%. And with $12, we could easily get out of the negatives, which, if you don't know already, we are in the negatives about $60. Like, actually buying the t shirts made us go into the negatives. So if we don't have enough of those coming in, then we aren't making a neutralizing balance out of it. We really need people to be buying the dues, buying the shirts, making sure that we can get out of that negative state and back into the neutral area where we need to be for fundraisers. Because think about it, if we were in the negatives, we'd only be not gaining any positive uh, monetary compensation for all the fundraising we do. If we don't, then we're essentially wasting time. And so I'd like to make it a very, very strong point that, yeah, the shirts and the dues do give us a lot of a benefit if you do buy them. And if you do want to buy them, you can leave your name on the French Club Facebook group, which I don't know how many of you use them, but if you do, more power to you. And if you don't and you know someone who'd like to, then go ahead and ask Madam Howington, or just let somebody in the group know, and we could go order them again. I think, at least. So yeah, friends, family, anybody. Now, where do all these funds go to is a really good question to be asking. Well, whenever we collect funds, we put them towards things that the organization can do to highlight the French culture. We don't simply go to the Kimball Art Museum because it's an art museum, but because it showcases a lot of French culture. It showcases a lot of French architecture. It just is a very good highlight of French culture. And to think about it, we're eating at La Madeleine for a reason. It's French cuisine. And so what we need funds for is to make sure that we're able to pay for all of this. The Kimball Art Museum per person is about, I would roughly estimate, $12, while eating at La Madeleine, it's pretty fancy, I would argue. It should come down to effectively triple or double that $12 fee to get into the museum. All in all, it's going to cost a lot. And so the reason we're going through all this funding and all of this work is so that we can effectively go. That's why we're doing it. And so I'll probably be talking more about the field trip as we're going to it, but for now, just know that all of these efforts are going towards it. And a couple of things that you do need to know: it's going to be May the 3rd, which is an A day. You're going to be able to skip class. If museums aren't your thing, then incentive is still there, and eating that La Madeleine will probably be fun anyway. So okay, so you'll remember that earlier we were talking about having a raffle ticket fundraiser. The reason this didn't work was because school regulation and policy, it's always school regulation and policy, they don't allow things that could replicate, a gambling scenario, lotto tickets, stuff like that, where you could easily drop money without having any gain. When you think about it, we've been partaking in fundraisers where people buy a product, they get the product, and everyone is happy. But in a lotto or a drawing, like, you're scamming numerous people, and only one person really gets to walk away. It's based on luck. Anything based on luck is probably frowned on about the school society, so we really can't be doing that. And I'm going to be talking about a fundraiser soon here that is similar to that, but I don't know. We're really just going to have to talk it out with the faculty, whoever runs jurisdiction on that kind of stuff. Okay, now this slide is pretty obsolete because, yeah, St. Patrick's Day is over, Mardi Gras is over, Easter has just passed us. We can't really do any themed fundraiser events. We're just going to have to go straight up into French culture or anything really. Um, but yeah, I did release a lot of Mardi Gras stuff, St. Patrick's stuff, but it's no big deal because the stuff that our our fundraisers that are French themed are pretty good anyways, which I'll be showing you here in a bit. What is this? I don't think this is important. Okay, now I'll be explaining the guessing game. There are a few legal issues behind the guessing game. It's the cons of this is that it is based somewhat of luck, but there is some deductive reasoning involved because you do get to guess based on what you see. It's not as though we cover the box and tell you to guess, but it's visible to the naked eye. You can see it and then you can guess. And if you can deduce that the number you picked was somewhat close to the number in the actual jar, then it's not entirely based on luck. However, I would assume that the number of units or rewards inside of a jar would be very high. So it'd be pretty hard to just sit there and count each and every individual. So it's still highly based on luck. So this is kind of a this is kind of something we're going to have to try to stay away from. I would not suggest voting on it just personally because we may end up getting it denied. We'd be effectively wasting just more time. But how it works is that, yes, there's a jar and you put numerous rewards inside of it. A very large number, might I add, that's difficult to guess. People will contribute in a guessing fee, basically, and if they guess very close to the correct number, they get the entire jar and all of the contents within the jar. And so we'd be making profit out of people's guesses. The fact that people do pay to guess. In the example, there are four in the jar, 50 cents a guess. They both have 50 cents. We get $1 out of that. Perhaps the individual units were like not even $1, a dime each. We'd be gaining a 0.50% profit, or a 50% profit. And so that's how it would work. Now, I don't think we can use it because it's still legally similar to raffle tickets, just a bit more deductive in reasoning, that is. I love this idea. It's the bake sale idea. And basically, a lot of the difficulties we have as far as fundraising goes is that we're restricted by the school. And for example, when we were selling chocolates, if you remember, we had to distribute them fifth block because you can't distribute food above a certain nutritional content or underneath a certain nutritional threshold. Otherwise, it'd be against school policy. And so it was just a hassle because people would have off block, people would not be at school that certain day. It'd be difficult. And so to eliminate this, I suggested that we could go to Kroger or we could go to Walmart, somewhere, some community center that generates a lot of traffic. A lot of people come by and they spend their time there. And so I noticed that Girl Scouts do this. You know, they go from door to door and they sell their products and they get a lot of money off of it. Partially for being cute, of course, but that's partially it. And so if we were to have booths outside of Walmart or Kroger and sell like French themed food, we could get something. Like, cause think about it, how many people go through Walmart a day? A lot, hundreds, thousands, perhaps. And odds are sometimes they're hungry, and positioning yourself right outside the door, that's convenient. You walk in and you see them, and you see the booth, and you're like, okay, that's convenient. I'd love to go there. And so I would highly suggest this one because what is the school going to do to us if we are outside of their domain? They can't really harm us in any way or restrict our selling. So that's something to be interested in. And as far as what we're going to be selling, the food, um, you could like we could talk more about that over the next week. However, keep in mind that we do need to kind of rush on it because May 3rd is approaching sooner than you know it. Kind of excited. Open movie night. Now, this one would probably be. I mean, it's totally okay with school policy, but I don't think it'd be effective as the bake sale. This one would. You'd need a large space for all of these students to be watching movies, like perhaps the lecture hall, or I don't know, the gym even. But basically, what it entails is that we'll have like French themed movies playing, or French movies playing in like uh, the selected venue, and we'd have like snack centers open around there, and people could like buy snacks while watching a movie, and there would be an admissions fee over that time frame, over the event. Yeah, there would be an admissions fee, and just have like movies playing one after the other. So that's really it. Those are your three options. I mean, I would tell you that you could give me more, but we're running out of time, and I'd highly suggest that we get on something fast, or else we won't have enough time to do other things. So I'm making this April the 9th, and tomorrow I'm going to be publicizing what we're voting for, um, and I'll let everybody in the French Club vote. On top of that, tomorrow I'm going to be talking more about Eric's Benefit Fun Run. I'm not going to be talking about that a lot right now because you're looking at a blank screen, but Eric's Fun Run I will be touching on a lot tomorrow. Holly Beard, I don't know her last name. I think it's either Beard or Dumin, something Spanish. Yeah. She'll be coming by. She's the host of President, and she'd like to come by and talk to us about what we could do to help or contribute with Eric's Fun Run. Um, and I'm going to leave it at that for today. I'll go way in deep tomorrow. All right, so thank you so much. I appreciate it.